Okay, so it's really cold outside here, and I thought that I would just do and show a simple potato soup. This is just how I do it. I'm not trying to take away from what anybody else does. You might have seen other recipes, you might have another recipe, and that's fine and that's great, but this is just my take on a potato soup. So anyway, I'll go ahead and get started. I'm going to take chicken broth. Just start out with a simple chicken broth. Okay. And I'm going to take about 4 cups of water. And I'm going to put that on medium heat. Okay. Just right here on, see, 2 cups of water. Pour that right in. Because you don't want to water it down too much. But then again, you don't want to have not enough water. So 4 cups of water, 1 can of chicken broth. And the reason I do that is because you don't want it to be way too salty. Chicken broth is very salty, so you don't want it to be like way too salty. But you're going to put that on medium, low to medium heat, and kind of let that just kind of warm up, I guess. And then I have peeled and cut up chunks of potato, about that big chunks of potato. Some wound up smaller, some wound up bigger. That's fine. And what I did was just cut them, I peeled them, washed them, peeled them, wash those again. Anyway, cut them, peeled them, cut them, washed them, and then I'm just going to throw them back here in this pot to cook for the first 30 minutes. And the reason I'm doing that is because potatoes are very, very starchy, okay? And you don't want all that starch water in your soup. Some of it is fine, some of it's going to get in there anyways. But you want to cook some of the starch out of the potatoes first. So that's what I'm going to do here is I'm going to cook some of the starch out of the potatoes first. So I'm going to take probably about 4 cups of water and let that boil for the first 30 minutes. Okay? And that's going to get you started with the potato soup. And I will come back and add to the video everything else that I do. Now, you can put that on high heat because you're just going to boil them. But you're going to boil them until the potatoes are tender, not until they're like mushy and falling apart. So, like I said, first 30 minutes, you want to boil the potatoes. I'm just going to set that over that way. I'll come back and show you how to finish it up and put it together. I do have cream cheese here that I'm going to add to it as a thickening agent. It's going to thicken up your soup for you. It's a very thick, very rich soup. It's loaded baked potato soup, so it's got everything in there. It's going to have the bacon, the cheese, everything in there when I get to the end. But I'll show all of that and how I do it and everything like that. So anyway, this is the start of your potato soup. And just boil the potatoes for the first, like I said, the first 30 minutes. And then you got your chicken broth and your water kind of on low to medium heat. You don't want this to start boiling necessarily right this second. Just kind of want to leave it there, and we're going to add the cream cheese, and I'll show you when I do that. Okay, so I've let my potatoes cook for like the first 30 minutes, and they've softened up a good bit, okay? And that's the way you kind of want them. You don't want them fully cooked to where they like are starting to mush and disintegrate. We're going to leave that boiling for just a few minutes, and let me show you this part, okay? So, I don't know if I said this earlier, but I'm going to go ahead and tell you now. This is about 6 to 7 medium-sized potatoes that I peeled, washed, cut up, washed them again, and then started boiling them for the first 30 minutes, okay? And then you have your chicken broth and your water here, okay? And I'm going to go ahead, since it's hot, I have my room temperature cream cheese. That's why I had the cream cheese sitting out. Because the cream cheese needs to be like room temperature, and it's just regular cream cheese, okay? And what I'm going to do is just cut it up and put it in with this broth, and then I'll add the potatoes. I'll drain the potatoes and add them to this broth, the broth and the water. And what you're going to want to do is take the cream cheese. I'm just going to cut it with a butter knife into little chunks. That way it kind of melts into your chicken broth here. And that's really all that you do. Now on the side you can you can make like bacon. I'm going to make bacon on the side. And I'm going to add bacon and cheese. When it gets it all done, I will show you what it looks like in the pot. Or in the bowl, whatever. And that's really it to the potato soup. It's really thick and creamy once you add this cream cheese. It's going to like lump up a little bit and make it look kind of crazy at first. But trust me, it will dissolve and it will get like creamy. It'll make it creamy. I've seen several other people's recipes for potato soup, and I just think this is the best way to make potato soup. But yes, it's very thick. It's very creamy. Now, what I'm going to do to that is just kind of take a spoon and kind of make sure that it's just not, the cream cheese is not sticking to the bottom. But see how it's going to kind of lump up on you? Alright? And it doesn't look very appetizing, but I swear it will smooth out. And I'll show you that part where it smooths out. That's why you kind of want your cream cheese to be room temperature. Okay? So that it'll smooth out a bit. Alright, now I'll get rid of this stuff. Now your potatoes are ready to be drained and ready to be added to this mixture. I'm going to add another 2 cups of water to this, just so that when I add the potatoes, it doesn't cook all the way out. Because you don't want that to happen. You don't want it to cook all the way out. Okay, look, I'm going to remove this from heat. Now you want to turn this one, your soup, on medium heat. Go ahead and turn that on medium heat and drain your potatoes. I'm going to just drain the water off, all that starch water off of the potatoes. And like I said, these are just regular potatoes. They're not the red potatoes. You can use those. I've heard of people using those. I just like the regular potatoes. Okay. Now, all I'm going to do is add this to it. Okay. Make sure it doesn't splash all over the place. Try to make sure it doesn't splash all over the place. There we go. I'm going to add that to it. Alright, now we can get rid of that. And just kind of keep an eye on it and stir it. And that's really it as far as that part goes. Now I'm going to let this boil for about another, I don't know, I want to say 45 minutes. The whole process should take you about an hour and a half. And that's if you cook the bacon and everything. If you don't want bacon in it, that's fine. I do it just to top it off. And that way it doesn't have to have so much salt. But this will like smooth out for you and be creamy. I know it looks a little crazy right now, but just trust me. Let it cook. Let it boil. And it will smooth out for you. But I'll come back and show you what that's starting to look like. And I got to go ahead and start my bacon. And I'll show you what it looks like when it's all done. So it's water and chicken broth and cream cheese and potatoes. Really, that's it. That's all that goes into it. I will show you what it looks like when it gets done. Okay, so this is what it's going to look like when it's done. Now, I'm going to show you what I do to it. You don't have to do this, but I just kind of ladle it. You have your chunks of potatoes, okay? And it kind of thickened up a bit, alright? And that's what you want. It doesn't make a lot of soup, but it does make a good amount. Now, I take mild cheddar and put on the top of it. Now, if you want to add, because, you know, it's kind of salty enough for me, the cheese adds a little bit of salt to it. The bacon's going to add a little bit of salt to it. I usually put a strip of bacon, just regular bacon like you would cook for breakfast. I cook 12 ounces of bacon to kind of, to let everybody have some bacon, and you might have some left over, whatever. And then I just put a little bit of pepper to taste. And that's about it. And that's what your potato soup is going to turn out like. And this is what it looks like all done in a bowl. It's very hot. I add the bacon on top because you don't want to really cook the bacon in with it. It'll get it made, you know, soggy and stuff like that. I cook it separately and add the bacon in as I put it into bowls for myself and my family. And that way it stays crispy. Now, if you want to add, like, this is enough, like I said, to feed 4 to 6 people. And that's plenty if you're just feeding your family. Now, if you're making more, then of course you're going to add more potatoes and more of everything. My son doesn't like cheese, so I'm just going to put a little pepper and a little bacon in his. But you can kind of do it how you want. You can add sour cream if you'd like, or whatever you want to add to it after it's done. That's completely up to you. We like it this way, though. It's loaded baked potato soup. It's really good. By the way, I wanted to tell everyone thank you. If you're subscribed to this channel, thank you very much. If you're not already subscribed to my channel, then, well, why not? Anyway, you can click subscribe, and that'll allow you to see my latest videos. I haven't put up a lot of stuff lately, but I plan to, so stay tuned for that. And I also have a new button where it's like fan funding, and you can help out my channel by supporting my channel if you'd like to do that. If you wouldn't like to do that, that's okay too. I'm glad that you're subscribed and you like what I'm doing. If you want to leave comments for me, either on the potato soup or any other video, or you want to request something, I'm absolutely fine with people requesting things. Just let me know what you would like me to cook, and I'll try to do it. I'll try to do it as quick as I can. I think that's it. If you like this video, then please hit like. If you're, like I said, if you're not subscribed, then please subscribe. That's it. Thanks.